Welcome to the Johnson & Johnson Vision ACUVUE Abiliti session, where we will have an overview of why myopia matters, followed by a discussion about how the Ability Partnership can support you in your myopia management journey. I'm Dr. Monica Jong, the Global Professional Education Lead in Myopia, and I will be joined by Dr. Chandra Mickles, the North America Professional Education Lead in Myopia as well, and Dr. Glenda Aleman, the Director of Ortho-K Love. These are our disclaimers. We're all employees of Johnson & Johnson Vision. Dr. Aleman is an Ortho-K consultant for Johnson & Johnson Vision. I also hold honorary positions at the University of New South Wales and the International Myopia Institute. The Johnson & Johnson Vision commitment to myopia is to lead with science, demonstrate thought leadership that myopia is a disease, and increase the awareness everywhere while empowering and activating eye care practitioners through partnership, education, and advocacy. We will be introducing a portfolio over time to manage myopia by partnering with key organizations, both in the US and everywhere else, to drive the field forward. The Holden et al. Study was a landmark study we published when I was a part of the Brian Holden Vision Institute and reported the massive size of the myopia problem. Myopia is increasing everywhere and is predicted to affect 50% of the world by 2050, or close to 5 billion people based on conservative estimates. The prevalence of high myopia is doubling every 20 years, and this is concerning because at least 1 billion people will be highly myopic and at risk of myopic macular degeneration, glaucoma, cataracts, and retinal detachment. In the US alone, myopia prevalence was 42% in 2020, and by 2050, it will reach almost 60%. It was only in 2015 the WHO recognized for the first time that myopia is a public health issue. 34 experts representing every WHO region from optometry, ophthalmology, and public health came together. You can see me in the corner of the picture. Professor Earl Smith represented the US, and he's the former Dean of the University of Houston Optometry School. The report of this meeting is available online to help start the conversation about myopia, why it matters to medical colleagues and others involved in the caring of your pediatric patient. This snapshot of the world today shows that in East Asia, myopia already affects 80 to 97% of young people, while in the UK and Europe, myopia was affecting up to 50% of adults. In the US, myopia increased from 26 to 42% in only 3 decades, and a more recent study in Southern California reported that 59% of teens had myopia. The recent COVID lockdowns in East Asia led to an increase in myopia prevalence of 3 times, as well as significant progression. The authors suggested that more time spent on electronic devices and no time outdoors was one of the reasons. As Mark Bullimore says, every diopter matters. Every diopter increases the risk of ocular diseases and vision impairment, the most sight-threatening of them all being myopic macular degeneration, with every diopter increasing the risk by 67%. At the higher levels, the risk of vision impairment increases exponentially and is strongly linked to excessive axial elongation. Offering myopia management may also have a powerful impact immediately. Children with myopia have higher scores of depression and anxiety compared to normal-sighted children. Myopia not fully corrected may lead to poor vision and impact on educational achievement. And even when corrected, kids with myopia tended to face high pressure in studies and had concerns with appearance. Today, there is a lot more understanding behind the risk factors. Studies in the US, China, and Australia all demonstrate that time outdoors influences myopia. 2 hours daily time outdoors in clinical trials has demonstrated to halve new cases of myopia. Near work of longer duration and shorter working distances is also associated with myopia. As practitioners, we can recommend the 2022 rule proposed by Dr. Caroline Claver et al. Every 20 minutes, look into the distance for 20 seconds and go outside 2 hours a day. And this is based on reducing risk factors for myopia. Other risk factors include parental myopia and Asian ethnicity. Asians tend to have a higher prevalence of myopia and progress faster than non-Asians. and this may be linked more to the education and behavioural factors. Genetics is a smaller contributor to the myopia epidemic we see today. A big predictor of someone developing myopia is reduced expected hyperopia with age. This table is helpful as it has age versus spherical equivalent cutoffs for a US population that's diverse. If a child is 6 years old, we can expect at least plus 0.75 diopters, and any less they have premyopia. The premyopic child may also have other premyopia risk factors that you can see on screen. Education about myopia and follow-up is recommended in premyopia. And what's exciting is there are currently clinical trials underway trying to understand premyopia and the need to treat. The study by Bullimore and Brennan, An Ounce of Prevention is Worth a Pound of Cure, reported that if you can delay myopia by 1 year, this might be equal to 2 to 3 years of myopia management for Asians and slightly less in other groups, but it's still clinically useful, thus advising activities like 2 hours time outdoors may be beneficial. When a child develops myopia, consider managing them immediately. The evidence shows that when a child develops myopia, they tend to progress, and previous progression does not predict future progression. Children progress faster at younger ages, and Asians progress faster than non-Asians. This chart is really helpful clinically. It tells you the average progression expected without management for axial length and spherical equivalent in children. Today, we have the tools available in our office to get started right away. A good, accurate refraction is important, especially utilising cycloplegia and autorefraction to improve accuracy. Optical barometers are really useful too for monitoring axial length. They're automated, they're higher resolution, and allow accurate objective follow-up without cycloplegia. We can also directly measure axial length, which is the metric for eye growth, and this also correlates with disease and vision impairment in studies. Many groups today have published axial length centile curves that show where a child is relative to the normal growth of the population with respect to gender and ethnicity. It's a useful tool to demonstrate graphically to parents. There are also refraction calculators online like the BHVI calculator that demonstrate outcomes with and without management. But bear in mind that all of these are guides and each child has different factors which may influence their final outcomes. You have a child in your chair diagnosed with myopia. What form of myopia management is most appropriate? The International Myopia Institute white papers report that Ortho-K specially designed soft contact lenses, new generation myopia control spectacles, as well as some pharmaceutical solutions, all can manage myopia clinically. It's about selecting the most appropriate treatment based on age, lifestyle preference, and clinical profile. As Mark Bullimore reports, the benefits of myopia management far outweigh the risks. Some children may really benefit from contact lenses and Ortho-K, especially if they're active. Having that conversation to discuss the most suitable option is part of the standard of care. Consider the child and parent motivation. Is the parent interested in being involved? Does the child have good dexterity and good hygiene? Is the child sporty? There's also the benefit of no lens in the eye in the daytime for Ortho-K, and children as young as 7 have been demonstrated to successfully wear contact lenses. Contact lenses and Ortho-K may dramatically improve confidence, increase participation in activities, and provide greater satisfaction with correction, which in turn may improve treatment compliance. Ortho-K has even been reported to increase time spent outdoors in a peer-reviewed paper. And it is a myth that kids and contact lenses equals to increased chair time. Children only take 10 minutes more than teens to learn insertion and removal. There are also concerns that contact lens infection rates are higher in children. Studies demonstrate that this is not true. This table from Bullimore's review papers shows that the MK rates, or microbial keratitis rates, in soft contact lens wear in 7 to 17-year-olds is relatively low. Lenses were worn daily with varying replacement schedules. Only one study reported 1 case of microbial keratitis per 10,000 years of patient wear. Overall rate is 2.67 cases per 10,000 years of wear. And so soft contact lens wear in children and teens appear to be as safe as adults, or perhaps even safer. Ortho-K is worn overnight, and so this tends to carry greater risk of microbial keratitis. Bullimore and colleagues reported rates of 14 cases per 10,000 patient years in US children, which is already relatively low. In a 2021 Russian study, the risks were even lower at 5 cases per 10,000 patient years. And Bullimore and colleagues concluded that the risk of microbial keratitis in ortho-K may be similar to daily wear contact lenses. And it is critical that there's patient education and follow-up for successful contact lens wear in children. Ortho-K and contact lenses are a part of myopia management, and the FOCUS study by Lipson and colleagues surveyed 545 US ODs about the current state of ortho-K in the US, and the findings are quite relevant beyond the US. Ortho-K has been in use for over 20 years with a large body of evidence behind it. 68% of those surveyed were already prescribing Ortho-K, 62% rated Ortho-K as their preferred option for myopia management, and some benefits reported by practitioners were the high patient loyalty, and patients were with doctors for about 8 years. Nearly 2/3 of doctors were prescribing it to under 13s. Some of the reasons why doctors are not offering Ortho-K are perceptions such as the learning curve, cost, chair time, and safety. We also hear of common reasons for patient discontinuations, and Dr. Mickles and Dr. Aleman will further discuss how they have overcome this in their practice. The FOCUS report states that Ortho-K currently is underutilized by doctors, as only 7% are providing it, and 50% of doctors intend to offer it in 2 years. So this presents a really great opportunity to offer this modality. To summarize, myopia should be considered an ocular disease in the way we manage it, because once a child develops myopia, they are likely to progress. Every diopter matters and every child matters. There is evidence to manage myopia by personalizing it based on clinical, lifestyle, and patient preferences, and adding the lifestyle recommendations such as the 20-22 rule. Careful objective follow-up is really important given the young age and potential risks of any form of treatment. Education is key to reinforce compliance. Together, all of us have an opportunity to change the trajectory of myopia. Thank you very much. And over to Dr. Mickles and Dr. Aleman to introduce the ACUVUE Abiliti partnership.
Well, thanks so much, Monica. Glenda, man, we are so fortunate to have several options to effectively manage myopia. But for some reason, despite all the life-changing experiences that I've heard about, there's one option that is underutilized. I mean, if your doctor told you that there was this non-surgical technology that can provide clear, correction-free vision for most of the day, wouldn't you want it? And on top of that, may prevent vision deterioration and improve quality of life. Well, as a 13 diopter myope, I know that I would want that, and I would want it for my children. But unfortunately, few doctors today are fitting this technology that we all know as orthokeratology. Yes, less than 8% of doctors are fitting Ortho-K lenses, but what is holding them back? But based on the literature, now we know, high cost for patients, the incorrect belief that parents aren't interested, too much chair time, and safety concerns. And Glenda, if we think about it, for some of us, if we're honest with ourselves, if we're keeping it real, on those busy days when we have a potential Ortho-K candidate in our chair, we start to think to ourselves, man, this is too time consuming, and parents probably aren't interested because they don't think it is safe. And on top of that, I have new staff that maybe not be equipped to help me fit these lenses, and I just don't even have time to train them. Well, this is why I'm thrilled that at Johnson & Johnson Vision, we are not only committed to changing the trajectory of myopia by raising the awareness of the importance of myopia management with ODs, ophthalmologists, pediatricians, parents, and legislators, but man, we are committed to supporting ECPs and overcoming some of these barriers, whether it's through educational events that can help support your staff and getting upskilled and supporting you and fitting these lenses, or whether it's providing you effective parent communication tips, just like Dr. Jennifer Harthan has shared, or if it's our excellent clinical sales consultants team that consists of ODs and highly trained other clinical sales consultants who can provide in-person, yes, in-person concierge support. Well, Glenda, man, I tell you, it's sad to hear that few doctors are fitting Ortho-K lenses. I know that Ortho-K is your top choice. Why is Ortho-K your top choice for your patient?
I mean, Ortho-K that's such an easy question, right? Because it just provides so much more than just visual correction. But with Ortho-K, my patients have quality of life. Their self-esteem, this is what I get more often from parents. They tell me that their kids' self-esteem just goes up through the roof when they get fitted with Ortho-K. Ortho-K lets them, just have fun, play their sports, and not have to worry about visual correction. So to me, it's Ortho-K is the obvious choice for a patient that is a good candidate.
Yeah, it's an obvious choice to me as well. But I'm sure many of the doctors listening would love to know a little bit more about our lens. In fact, yes, in order to truly change the trajectory of myopia, we have to provide you with the tools to manage that myopia. And that's why I'm so excited that the first place that we have launched our ACUVUE Abiliti overnight lenses is right here in the US. Our lenses have an excellent power and parameter range, but what really sets our lenses apart is addressing those barriers that we talked about, those safety concerns that people may have with Ortho-K. With our excellent oxygen permeability, one of the highest oxygen permeabilities of lenses out there, man, you and the parents can have confidence that the children will have a safe wearing experience. But what about this too much hair time piece? Well, I'll tell you, with our software, it can save you some chair time. And how does it do that? Well, it'll help guide your staff or you through the fitting process step by step. And by entering pertinent information like HVID and corneal topography, which is automatically uploaded with a click of a button, our lens parameters for the patient are automatically calculated. Now, before you order those lenses, you also have the opportunity to view the simulated fluorescein patterns and view the lens clearance as well. Now, our software is not going to help you with the initial fitting process. It's going to help guide you through the follow-up process as well. And if you need it, it will guide you through the troubleshooting process. Now, you've heard from me what I believe the benefits of our lenses are, but I'd love for you to hear from Glenda. I mean, she has the opportunity to fit our lenses many times on her patients. So Glenda,
yes, I love.
Go ahead.
I love the ACUVUE Abiliti because for all the reasons that you mentioned, I initially signed up because, everybody knows Johnson & Johnson. So I love the fact that I could talk to my parents about a brand that they were familiar. But honestly, I have had 95% success rate with all of my patients. I have one single patient on all the ones that I fitted that I needed to order a second lens. So having that guarantee that I'm going to have a first time success rate for me is huge, because that means at the end of the day, a better process for the patient, less visits to the office, and also it saves me money as a practitioner.
I love that. That's wonderful to hear. 95% first fit success rate. That's outstanding. But at Johnson & Johnson Vision, we're just not all about product. I would just love for you, Glenda, to share why you have partnered with Johnson & Johnson Vision beyond our product.
Well, like I mentioned just now, because of the brand recognition, I think it makes it a lot easier to have the conversation with parents, because prior to the ACUVUE Abiliti lens, when parents would ask me, I mentioned Ortho-K and I would tell them the lenses that I was using, and they didn't recognize a brand. But when I say this is an ACUVUE lens, they're like, oh yes, I wear the ACUVUE, right? They all call it ACUVUE, not ACUVUE. So they're like, yes, I know, that's what I wear. So it really makes it easier. I think it gives them some ease and peace of mind to know that their child is going to be fit with a lens from a brand that has been around for so many years and it's so recognized worldwide.
Well, thanks so much for that. Thanks so much for partnering with us. I truly hope that what we shared was beneficial so that even on your busiest days, if you have a potential ortho-K candidate in your chair, you won't let those barriers that I talked about hold you back. Truly, it is our hope that whether through fitting or referring, that you partner with us to create many life-changing experiences for your patients. So we hope that you join us at our booth. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We thank you.
I really like partnering with Johnson & Johnson in their ACUVUE Abiliti overnight therapeutic lenses for myopia management. I think what I really like most about Johnson & Johnson getting involved with myopia management is their awareness and their conscientiousness about the state of the disease, and them working really hard to raise the awareness about myopia management, not only with ECPs, but with the general population. I decided to partner with Johnson & Johnson in the ACUVUE Abiliti overnight lenses because I thought it was really important to bring the Johnson & Johnson brand, and the ACUVUE provides brand recognition. It gives something to the patients that they can relate to. And it is, one of the largest companies in the world and in the field of vision. The FitAbility software is really one of the major highlights for me with the J&J partnership. The reason why I love it is because time is of the essence in any medical practice, and the FitAbility software really makes it simple, and I think it's really important for new emergents, other ECPs who are thinking of incorporating myopia management into their practice, to know that they don't need to be afraid. I feel that sometimes the fear of what is, ortho-K and just starting with it makes or keeps ECPs from incorporating myopia management. FitAbility really takes that fear away and the unknowns. It is a very simple, user-friendly software. So far with the Abiliti overnight lenses, I have had 98% success rate. I have not had any issues with patients as far as comfort. They love the treatment, and they're just so happy that they can see well without any correction during the day. One of my favorite ortho-K success stories, it's actually my very first patient, who was a 14-year-old boy. He was a soccer player. As a physician, I was doing my job as, giving the patient the best option, but I didn't really know how it will impact his life. For my surprise, when the patient came after a few weeks of wearing ortho-K, I asked what was his favorite thing about being an ortho-K, and his response was that he had become the best goalie in his team. Everybody was asking him what changed, what was the difference, because he was performing so well. And so he told everyone that he didn't have to wear glasses anymore, and he's an ortho-K, and now you're making me cry. I think that partnering up with a company such as Johnson & Johnson, it's really beneficial for the field of myopia management. They are one of the largest companies in the world, and having them involved and pay attention to the huge epidemic that we are facing right now, it's gonna have a huge impact. And partnering with them allows me to reach out to more patients, more ECPs, and in general, their campaign to raise awareness about this crisis is great.
Myopia. It's a silent epidemic affecting millions of children around the world, and it's growing fast. Myopia presents as nearsightedness. That's why all children should be examined regularly, as symptoms generally appear in childhood. We are now seeing more children with myopia at even younger ages. research shows that myopia is more than just nearsightedness. It is a chronic, progressive disease associated with significant complications in later life that threaten to take away our most treasured sense, sight. Johnson & Johnson Vision is committed to changing the trajectory of this global epidemic. We're leading with science and evidence for both eye care providers and parents, and bringing a powerful new comprehensive approach with Abiliti. Abiliti will offer a suite of therapeutic products and a digital companion to address individual kids' needs as they grow, education and resources for parents and children, and unparalleled support to eye care providers through personalized professional training and clinical excellence, and increased access to eye care through an ongoing partnership with Sight for Kids, providing free, comprehensive eye exams for children in need. Together, we can empower children to see their future. Learn more today at seeyourability.com.